top 10 pick.
At 10-6, mirage a little, because remember, they're in a division with 13-3 Atlanta and the playoff a year ago defending champ New Orleans Saints. I know Carolina was the worst team in football record-wise. Do the Bucs, one of those teams, the record next year not reflect that they're getting better? Or do you think they still move up, Coach?
You know, I don't think there's any mirages in the NFL. Everybody says they didn't beat a team with a winning record until week 16. La-di-da. They got a great young quarterback. Josh Freeman is the best-kept secret in pro football. Mike Williams, LeGarrette Blount, two unsung heroes, too now. Mike Williams and LeGarrette Blount and Josh Freeman give this offense three dynamic playmakers. And on defense, if McCoy can get healthy, if Claiborne can come in and rush a passer, we still got 2 or 3 other draft picks here to add to the puzzle. But this is a good young football team, and I think they are on the rise. There's no question.
You said it, John. Gerald McCoy, early first-round pick last year. Some had him graded out ahead of Sue. He was not Ndamukong Suh.
No.
They did have the injury. Bottom line is Gerald McCoy's productivity was not what they expected. He needs to step it up. They got to find a corner as well in this draft.
All right, Susie, you're with the newest Buccaneer.
What was the level of pins and needles during that wait?
Man, it was a long wait, but it's well worth it. Tampa's where I wanted to be, and I'm glad I got to them, and I'm glad they picked me. I can't wait to be a Buck.
What does this say to all the folks who have a lot of things they need to overcome?
It means that, just keep pushing. People said I wouldn't be able to play football, and held me back, but I kept going. So whatever your dream is, just stick with it, and don't let nobody hold you from it.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So Adrian Cleveland, that's a guy we're gonna follow and really root for. I think he's gonna look in the creamsicle. He's gonna look good in that once-a-year creamsicle. And Bucs fans, let's get a couple sellouts this year. Let's go here. Fill that Jolly Roger there in the end zone. Now on the clock, we go to the playoff teams, and you talk about a team that came from the depths and made it all the way to the playoffs. The surprise winner of the AFC West, the 10-6 Kansas City Chiefs. They were the last team to lose a game last year at all. They were the #1 team in rushing with Jamal Charles and the ageless Thomas Jones. Really, Bo really erupted at wideout with 15 TDs. Ali led the AFC in sacks. A lot to be excited about in Kansas City, and they jumped over the Chargers. Do they need O-line help? An aging line, Mel?
They definitely do, Boom. We think about that right tackle spot. They could also look at a center. Mike Pouncey certainly would have been in the discussion. He's off the board. Pouncey went earlier to Miami Dolphins. Anthony Costanzo could be a right tackle. He played there early in his career at Boston College. Gabe Creamy was a left tackle. He will be a right tackle in the NFL. Sherrod, the left tackle. Watkins will be a guard. And certainly Hudson as well, center guard. Costanzo, to me, when you look at the consistency throughout his career, he was out there week after week. We talked about Adrian Claiborne, consecutive starts. About 54 games started for Anthony Costanzo. Right tackle early on, I think that bodes well because that's where they need an upgrade. The Kansas City Chiefs do on that offensive line. I thought Costanzo to the New York Giants earlier. They opted to go best available player and take Prince Amukamara at the cornerback spot. Here, Costanzo, I think, would be a nice fit for the Kansas City Chiefs. He would be a hole filler.
I also think they need a wide receiver. I know Bo had a great year last year, had over 70 catches, but their next wide receiver pass catcher had 22 catches. It was Chris Chambers. This quarterback is pretty good. I think they need another playmaker. Great running back here in Charles. Castle has some talent, but I do think we'll talk about the Chiefs later, Mel.
We just heard behind us, it's not the Chiefs. They have traded, and Cleveland is now on the clock.
Somebody wants a quarterback, Chris. I bet you somebody's trying to get in there to get our friend Dalton. What do you think?
Could be. They have Colt McCoy. It's Cleveland on the clock.
Oh. I got to think, if I'm Cleveland and I'm jumping in there, I'd be jumping in thinking about a Daquan Bowers. At some point, Bowers has got to come off the board. He played through the knee. He's going to play through it moving on into the NFL. He was arguably one of the top 2 or 3 players in this draft. If you're thinking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the New Orleans Saints coming up and you're the Cleveland Browns, you can't wait. You also have a situation with Jimmy Smith. They went Joe Hayden last year. Jimmy Smith still on the board as well. So there's some good football players that slid through the cracks. We thought Jimmy Smith could still be there, but ahead of Cleveland, you got Baltimore, you got Philadelphia, you got some teams that could be looking corner. This is a move where the Browns, I think, have targeted that player that they know they can't wait for because he'll be gone.
Well, that's in the green room. That's one of the largest players in the draft. Phil Taylor knows Baylor, showing the emotions that you would expect of young men who have dreamed of this day. And apparently the Browns traded and got him a real like the purest nose tackle in the draft, right? If that's what they want to do.
Who is he, Boomy? Sean Rogers.
But I know that.
Basically, that's what.
Although Dick Duran will play, well, you would think more 4-3, right?
Well, that's what Dick Duran has been. Now, when you watch this kid at the Senior Bowl, I looked at him at Baylor. I saw just 2 films of him at Penn State. And I didn't walk away from the projector and say, boy, we got to get Phil Taylor from Baylor. But when I saw the Senior Bowl, I said, who is Phil Taylor from Baylor? This guy is explosive, incredible lower body power. I think Dick Duran is going to play some 3-down looks, just like everybody else in pro football is becoming more multiple. Phil Taylor from Baylor made a lot of money and turned a lot of heads at the Senior Bowl, Mel.
Well, you thought nose tackle, John. You thought the 3-4 teams would target him. Now all of a sudden he's at Sean Rogers' side. He's at mountainous 6'3 1/4", 338 pounds, John. Stamina is going to be a concern. Playing 4 quarters, not having to take breaks in the action, it's going to be something he's going to have to prove. He was productive early on at Penn State, even before he became a Baylor Bear. But I thought this year he stepped it up. Last year, although he was disappointing, he adapted, he transitioned from the Penn State program to Baylor this year and played well. Huge kid. I thought he was a stay-at-home type. Nose tackle, defensive tackle, and I think that's what it'll be. He's not going to get you sacked, John. He's going to handle the run. He's going to free up that linebacker, that middle linebacker, and that's his job. Basically, stay-at-home type, strong against the run, question his stamina. He's got to improve his endurance.
Well, it cost them a 3, but remember, Cleveland picked up a ton of picks in that big trade they made with Atlanta. They got an extra 2, they got an extra 4, they got a 1 and a 4 next year. So they give up a 3 to swap places with Kansas City, who moves down now to 27th overall. And look, and Phil Taylor, well, you can look at him here. What do the Steelers do? They run the ball. What do the Ravens do? They can run the ball. You're going to win. You're going to compete in that division. You got to do it, right?
Yeah, I think Phil Taylor is an outstanding run defender. I think that's what he is. But the question is, what are the Browns doing on defense? Is he going to be on the field enough to play in your base defense? I just think he's a 3-4 nose, and maybe Dick Duran has plans. Maybe they're going to play some 34.
Well, you saw what he does there.
Yeah,
that's right.
what he is.
He's handling the run. That's what he's doing. He's getting off blocks. He's staying at home. He's not going to get in that backfield. He's not going to wreak any havoc. He's a 338-pounder who can handle double teams and then be stout against the run. That's his job, and that's what he's going to do with the Cleveland Browns.
Well, Peyton Hillis was going to be a cover boy on the Madden game, right? Boy, did he run hard. He's up there with the commissioner.
We have a special guest here tonight to announce the Cleveland Browns selection. You know he is. Please welcome Browns running back Peyton Hillis.
First of all, I just want to thank my Lord Jesus Christ for giving me this opportunity today. And I want to thank all my fans out there that voted me on for the 2012 Madden cover. I really appreciate everything. And with that, with the 21st pick in the 2011 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Phil Taylor, defensive tackle, Baylor.
So the Cleveland Browns, in year 2 of Mike Holmgren as president of the team, the new head coach, Pat Shurmur, the new defensive coordinator who we mentioned is Dick Duran. They're a team that, well, remember, they waited, they got Colt McCoy. I mean, they offensively are challenged. They're going to have many picks to get some help. Other than Peyton Hillis and the left tackle, Joe Thomas, I mean, they need some help offensively, and Cribbs is exciting as they come. But they start with defense, because if you're going to win a division with Pittsburgh and Baltimore, you better be stout on that side.
Yeah, and this guy has 2-gap power. I mean, very good playing strength. And he came on late in this season in the bowl game against Illinois and certainly at the Senior Bowl. Powerful, big, space-eating body.
All right, when we return, the Indianapolis Colts need some help up front.